going.
Thank you, Emily, and welcome everyone to our session today, all about math and interior design. Now, here's a quick glance at what we're going to cover in our time together today. We'll start by talking a little bit about how to engage those Generation Z students, and then moving into some teaching tips for integrating basic math skills in your course content, and then more specifically, integrating math into your interior design lessons. And then I've tried to pack this full of many links to free resources and some classroom ideas. And then at the end, you're going to get a sneak peek at a brand new interior design product that we will be rolling out this fall from Realityworks. So let's begin. First, why is math so important? Well, we know in interior design, math is so important because an error can literally drain your profits. Basic math skills are important not only to everyday work of an interior designer, but they're also very important to the running of an interior design business. So interior designers must be able to properly calculate measurements for the area of a room, as well as things like fabric needed for drapes and upholstery. So an error can be very costly. And we just had one quick example of that on the screen, where if you're not measuring square feet correctly, you can see how a math error can either short you or have you purchasing too much. And if that tile or even say carpeting is so many dollars per square foot, you can end up quickly spending thousands more than you need. So we know that in interior design, math is especially important. So we know that interior designers are strictly regulated and they need to pass various tests to earn their degree before they can practice the trade. And some of these tests include mathematical knowledge, sometimes about building code specifications. For example, they might need to accurately determine the requirements of height and width of commercial stairways, the number of electrical components needed to meet these codes, as well as space to accommodate American with Disabilities Act specifications. And interior designers need to read math in computer aid design programs. They need to know how to compute space requirements for the number of people, using that space. And then also they need math to follow budgets and set accurate fees for their services. So math is just all over interior design. So accurate measuring is certainly important to figuring out the kinds and sizes of furniture that would best suit the space as well. So certainly lots of examples of why math is so important. And if you're interested in reading more about math in interior design, I found here's 4 different links to some articles that I thought were worth a mention. And again, these will be available to you in the handout that we're going to be providing after the live webinar today. But again, just really helpful. They're fairly recent, but all about math in interior design for more background information. So now we're going to take a look at what math concepts our students need to know to be successful and ways that we can engage those Generation Z students. So here are some of those basic math skills that must be learned before we can even begin to apply interior design specific skills needed. Students may learn these earlier in their education and sometimes might not revisit them again for a long time, and they can forget these very, very important math concepts like decimals, fractions, percentages, conversions, and so forth. So here's a chart that we found that shows a descriptive comparison by generation and learning preferences. And by knowing how this generation prefers to learn, we can adjust the way we teach our basic math concepts. And if you look way over on the right-hand column under Generation Z, I'm sure there's no surprises. They prefer visual, interactive, bite-sized, and hands-on learning. And certainly the use of technology and social media is a given, it said. And I thought this was just a really helpful chart about learning preferences by generation. So Generation Z preferring those content in snackable chunks. How can we teach? What can we do? Well, they are looking for bite-sized nuggets of information that can quickly be consumed, understood, and shared. There is some research that shows that small bits of knowledge often create deeper meaning through references to shared stories or experiences. So in other words, it works for them and their learning. The link above is to a helpful blog with a title, Creating Snackable Content for Generation Z. And if you go to this link, it will give you some really good insight and examples of what we can do as educators to resonate with our Generation Z students. So if you're looking for a few tips, that might be a great place to go. Now, here are links to a few more sources of information on the importance of teaching this generation in those bite-sized chunks. So the first one, Overcoming the Most Common Mistakes Educators Make, Leading Generation Z, offers a 6-step game plan for teaching. The next one down, Teachers Meet Generation Z. This article will share that Generation Z learners are the first ones to tell you that their attention spans are short, that they feel constantly wired, and that they need multiple senses stimulated to be able to engage and to learn. But these kids can utilize even short attention spans if we can help them do that. And then the third one, Learning from Gen Z, Training for Today's Workforce. This article includes many insights into the strengths this generation has to offer and what we can learn from them. So certainly offer bite-sized learning. And a key takeaway from Gen Z is to provide bite-sized learning, but it's also known as micro-learning, to deliver training in those very smaller chunks so learners can more efficiently and easily digest the information and then more quickly close skill and knowledge gaps. So how do we teach? Well, gamification is also just a really good way to engage our Generation Z because we know that that's what they love to do. So the link above will take you to a form, and Layla Meyer has information at this link on 4 different ways to teach video games, which is really helpful and we think might be worth checking out because we know that gaming is something that really, really resonates with this generation. So if you're looking for some sources or resources for gamifying math, here are 3 examples of how to gamify your math classes to make learning fun and engaging. You could use these videos as inspiration, maybe pick one of them to start with and try it out. There are many more than this, but these were just 3 that I found that I wanted to pass along to you. It might get you pointed down the path to gamification. Now, the suggested way of teaching is to integrate appropriate math skills in context. So yes, students may need to brush up and relearn those specific math skills, but we don't want to stop there. These math skills should be woven throughout the curriculum. So can you find more ways to integrate math into your interior design challenges or through the use of the tools of the trade and more? We know you really can't do these things without math and interior design, but seek opportunities to try to weave in and teach those math concepts in context whenever you can. So one more suggestion for teaching is, of course, always try to do it smarter and find your own go-to resources for math lessons. So free math lesson sites are awesome. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to teaching basic math skills like percentages or fractions. So here's 3 that I wanted to point out. First is the Khan Academy link, and you can create a free account, and then you have access to a wealth of resources to teach math from K through college level content. And if you go to that link, there is just a ton of content. So you might wish to plan ahead to review what's there and then choose accordingly. The second one down, Math Planet, is an online resource where you can study math for free. And it covers pre-algebra topics as well as algebra, geometry. It even weaves in SAT and ACT prep. So if you click on the topic like greatest common factor, it has examples and also many videos as well. So worth checking out. And then the third one is homeschoolmath.com. And it's a comprehensive math resource site, specifically for homeschooling parents and teachers, but it also includes free math worksheets, lessons, some online math game lists, some ebooks, there's a curriculum guide, and a whole lot more. So the resources emphasize understanding of concepts instead of just a mechanical memorization of rules. And the lessons span K through 12. So they're just a few of the free resources that I found, but again, not an exhaustive list, but somewhere to start. So how do we teach? What else can we do? Well, you can use videos. And Generation Z is very much into visual learning as well. And videos are a terrific tool, and they could be used for instruction on those basic math concepts as well as interior design math applications. So 5 specific benefits that include catering to the short attention span of the average Generation Z student is through the use of concise explainer videos. Using these offers an ease of accessibility and mobility. They can provide visual learning opportunities, offering increased simplicity, and many times easily providing a variety of information. And it's also a very simple way to update content in a very specific topic that you're teaching. So here's one example of a very quick and easy video on a specific subject, basic math, adding and subtracting fractions. And it's less than 5 minutes, so very easy to include in your lesson time. And then it's actually part of a larger series by a source called Math Antics. They have a whole series of fun and engaging videos on many basic math concepts. Again, you could easily play a 5-minute video to show students an example, give them some additional information, and it's something that may engage them visually. So now we're going to explore ways to teach math applications within interior design activities and lessons. So here are just a few math applications that are used every day in interior design. Now, this is not an exhaustive list, but it's just a list to highlight some of the areas that students will be using in their interior design courses. And we're going to highlight each of these concepts and provide some links to some free resources that we found as we looked into it. So we're going to begin with the golden ratio. And of course, it's a common phenomenon of math used in art design, and it's many times also called the divine proportion. And the ratio is equivalent to a 60-40 or a 60-30-10 split instead of 50-50 because of the aesthetic appeal. And we know that interior designers are very familiar with students because they're going to use this to size furniture, the amount of furniture, some architectural elements and features, and so forth. So let's take a look at some lesson plans, some free lesson plans for weaving in more about the golden ratio. Now, the first link comes from the Cleveland Art Institute. And if you'll click on that link, there is a 76-page document, which includes a complete lesson plan for grades 9 to 12. And many of these are images used in that lesson plan to illustrate these concepts. So in this lesson, your students are going to learn about the golden ratio, and they'll see the appearance of this in numbers, of these numbers in art, architecture, and nature. The second link is grade level. It's high school, grades 10 through 12. And the teaching time in this lesson, or these lessons, is anywhere from 5 to 7 class periods, but it includes everything you need for instructions. It has slide presentations and handouts. It has rubrics and many, many activities that integrate math and the golden mean. The third link down, how to use the golden ratio in your design, is not a lesson plan, but it has really, really good information all about the golden ratio and 3 different links to online tools to help specify the ratio for side lengths. The fourth link, Are We Golden?, is from K20, and the lesson focuses on finding the golden ratio in art, nature, and common objects, even including their own skeletal structure. Students are going to take measurements, and they're going to use calculations to identify examples of the golden ratio both inside and outside of the classroom. Now moving on to lesson plans for geometry. We know that proportions play a really crucial role in design, and geometry is the science of shapes. The layout of a room is essentially an application of geometry, and the rules of geometry are very helpful in the arrangement of wall and room decor items. And you could also use geometry to choose patterns of furniture, curtains, cushion covers, and everything like that. So designing the layout of a room or building is done by interior designers who can calculate the size and volume of space. So it's not just making things pretty, it's all about space, distance, and measurement. And you're going to need math to be able to do that. So here are some free lesson plans and resources that we found. The first link is from the U.S.-China Institute, and it includes a multi-day lesson which explores the geometry of design features in Japanese interiors, and it relates the shapes found to polygons used in geometry. And then students will use their own workspaces to make designs on coordinate planes, and then they record the coordinate pairs of their shapes, and they use these to extend the lesson by making abstract art with their coordinates. The second link is from education.com, and your students can try their hand at interior design by drawing out a plan, taking measurements, and then they even write out a budget for their own room redesign. And we thought that this is a great activity for integrating geometry, but also fostering their creativity. And then the third link is a 24-page document that lays out a terrific way to teach geometry through art and architecture. So if you're looking more specific for geometry resources, I thought that those three were worth a mention. Next, we're going to move on to mensuration, which is the branch of math that deals with measurements of geometrical shapes. Concepts of length and breadth, height, area, and volume are really key to interior design. And if you don't use the discretion of measurement while decorating your room, you most likely will not have an appealing outcome. So, for instance, mensuration will help you choose the very best accessories to spruce up that space. And you can also estimate the cost of materials per square foot. So at the link above, it has a very in-depth unit on mensuration, and it includes 12 different activities. It has teacher notes, it has workbook pages, and also slide presentations. So the grade level on this one is 9 through 12. Now you do have to go through a sign up for free access, and I did it, and I found it very easy to access. So if you're looking for something on that topic, very, very helpful. Now, modeling and scale resources and lessons. We know that mathematical concepts like proportion, alignment, and other phrases relating to proportions are often used by interior designers. And modeling is very important to designers because you can use various modeling programs to create those 3D renderings of those proposed designs. And modeling is extremely useful for placing furniture and appliances and things like that. And as a designer, you really need at least a cursory understanding of math behind their designs to create a convincing model. So for the first link, it's to a 24-minute video that includes all sorts of information about teaching a lesson on proportion and scale. And there are a great many visuals showing good, but also poor examples of proportion and scale in interior design. The second bullet is to a lesson plan from the Utah Education Network. And this lesson provides your students with an introductory experience with drawing floor plans to scale. And then that third bullet on here is another lesson plan from the Utah Education Network. But in this lesson, it's going to provide your students with an opportunity to draw and design to scale a floor plan from a model home, including but not limited to things like a living room, a kitchen, a bathroom, and a bedroom. Area and perimeter. Here are a few fun projects for those areas. The first link here is to a 14-day lesson. Students research the concept of tiny houses, and then they develop a list of common features in those tiny houses. And then in small groups, they're going to design a tiny house that incorporates the generated list of features. They're going to use graph paper or even design software. And then they're going to participate in a gallery walk to analyze and critique the designs of their classmates. They're going to designate design elements they admire, and they're going to propose alternatives for areas of concern. The second link is a fun way to use area and perimeter to design a getaway house for you and a friend. It includes the task, the process, the access to resources, evaluation, and conclusion. And then the third link is to a series of lessons that use tiles as a means for incorporating math using area and perimeter. So some of the activities are a bit younger, but I think that they could definitely be adapted for older students as well. Now we've got a brand new interior design challenge kit that's going to be coming out in the next couple months from Realityworks. And it's a 10-lesson curriculum, a supplemental kit that you can use to challenge your students using universal design principles, interior design principles, and they're going to learn all about how to design for accessibility and all sorts of different challenges. So it comes with whiteboards with dry erase markers, because in these challenges, they're going to have to actually design things using a gridded whiteboard. Now the whiteboard is going to be two different sizes or two different visual. One is a top down, and each square represents 1 square foot of a room. And then if you flip it over, it's like going into perspective. So you are challenged to design using different ways of visualizing a room. The kit's also going to come with a physical disability sim kit, and students are going to be divided into small groups for this simulation. Comes with folding cane to simulate mobility challenges. It's going to have glaucoma glasses for visual challenges and headphones for some hearing impairment. And after students go through these physical disabilities simulations, they will have a better understanding of how those physical challenges can impact room design. And then they're going to have a series of challenges where they are going to have to design rooms for clients that may have one of those physical challenges. We also are including multiple sets of interior design drawing templates that your students are going to be able to use in some of their interior design challenges. We also have a set of challenge scenario cards that you can draw from. You read that challenge out to your students, and then using either the whiteboards or their drafting workbooks that you're going to be providing them with, they will be able to draw and solve those design challenges. So all of this is going to come kind of like what you see on the screen in front of you. And if you're interested in more information, as soon as this kit comes out, if you scan the QR code that's on your screen right now, we will automatically send you information and a quote once this kit comes out. And we expect this kit to come out kind of as a back to school. So certainly by October, but a brand new interior design challenge kit, and we're very, very excited about it. And here's a little bit of a closer look at the different topics by lesson. There's about 15 and a half hours of teaching time if you taught all of it, but it's going to go through certainly all of the different universal design principles. It'll have a lesson specific to interior design principles. Then, of course, you're going to have that simulation experience and challenge of designing for accessibility and those physical disability simulations. And then you're going to have a design challenge day, which is going to culminate with everything they've learned. And they're going to have to problem solve and design a solution to an interior design challenge that they're presented with. So it's, critical thinking, teamwork, all sorts of different soft skills woven into this challenge kit. So again, we're very excited, and we look forward to having that out shortly. And there's one other math related CTE kit that we want to point out that we already have. It's called our Measurement Math Training Kit. And if you're interested in that, there's more about that at the link in front of you, and there's also curriculum samples and things, but this one helps students learn how to read a ruler, and then they're presented with actually doing some hands-on application using different measurement tools. So we also have that particular kit available on our website. But wait, there's more. We have more things to share with you today. First of all, we have more webinars. If you like what we're doing today, we have a series of free webinars each and every month that you can sign up for. You can go to realityworks.com/webinars to sign up. And we also do record everything. So if you want to check out some of our previously recorded webinars, you can go to the archived portion under Family Consumer Science, and you can take a look at all of the different topics that we've had before. Also, we have some free resources for your classroom at the following links. The first one has several free Family and Consumer Science infographics. Some are on related facts, careers, information. Some are on math, some are on soft skills. So if you're looking for some more things that you can put up in your room that may be of interest to your students, you can certainly go to that link that you see on the screen. We have more free career exploration lesson plans, and we recently added a free set of interior design career exploration lessons. If you go to this link and sign up for it, you will be sent access to those interior design lesson plans. But we have more than just that. A lot of different family and consumer science areas, from childcare to culinary to human services. So you can also check those out at that link. And we also try to be very busy on our social media. We have a blog that includes good information on new product releases, on classroom activities, lesson plans, freebies. Also, we are very busy on Facebook and Twitter. You can many times find other instructors and sometimes even students using some of our products and lesson plans and activities there. So you may also want to check that out. So at this time, we would like to open it up to Q&A, and I know Emily has been monitoring our chat box throughout this webinar. So Emily, any pending questions we have today from anyone?
Yeah, one question is, Denise, what are we going to be sending after the email or after the webinar today?
Okay, yeah, great question. We will be sending a copy of this presentation so that, again, you can see all of the links and the resources, so you have access to that again. We'll be sending a link to the recording, so if you want to watch any part of it again, you can do so. And for those of you that are live with us today, you'll be getting a link handout as well that will take you to all the different items we've been talking about today, and you'll get a certificate of participation that you can use for a continuing professional development if your school districts accept those.
Awesome. And then do you want to go over when that new product will be coming out again?
It will be fall. It will be October. And again, if you scan that QR code that we showed earlier in the presentation, you will receive information as soon as it comes out. Information will be on our website. There's going to be certainly curriculum samples and things like that. So, but we do expect that to come out in the month of October.
Awesome. And I'm not seeing any additional questions coming in at this time.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending our program today on interior design math. We hope that you have found some helpful new free resources. And we also hope that you're excited about the new supplemental kit on interior design from Realityworks. So thank you for spending the time with us. We really appreciate it.